All right, welcome everyone to the Stromcast. I am here with Mr. Zac from the UK. Zac, I'll
The
let
Zach.
you,
Did you just call me the Zach?
Mr. Zac.
Oh,
I'll let you introduce yourself for, I guess, the Kiwis who don't really know who you are.
okay,
Um,
okay, okay. Well, I'm fucking Mr. Zach apparently. I am a coach from over in the UK. For the past for the past 4 years, people probably, if you've saw me on Instagram, probably know me as Zach fucking Team Pro Coach.
yep,
Anything before that, Zac Fotheringham. Um, I've been doing this crazy coaching game now for, I would say, around about, I'm 40 now, so I've been doing it. I've been in the industry. I've actually been in the industry for like 18 years.
shit,
Um,
yeah.
Started off, so I was in the army. I was in the army first.
Hmm.
The army first from 18, no 17, from 17 to around about 21, 22 when I left the army, and then went straight into the gym because, to be honest with you, um, it weren't so much the training, just bodybuilding I was doing, but I was very much into coming out of the army. I was very much into my fitness,
Yeah,
and I was I played football. I played football for quite a long time, at a half decent level. So I was sort of like bodybuilding,
yeah,
fitness, you know. Whilst literally from the get go, I started doing my qualifications for fitness instructor, personal trainer, going
hmm,
through going through the ranks there whilst working at the gym behind a counter, and then I was PT and personal trainer on the gym floor for around about 5 years, 6 years, and then kind of when
transition.
yeah, I'd say transition, but when I started to um transition, I would say it was this whole online coaching was never really a thing.
Yeah,
Um, um, if you was doing a bodybuilding show, you kind of only
like
really help
local guy.
the local
Yeah,
guys. Okay. And how you do that, there was never spreadsheets or any, they'd come and see you once a week. You'd
yeah,
sit down on the table and and I still do it now. I still do it now. You'd write everything, write their diet and
yeah,
their training plan in a fucking on a piece of paper, and they'd say, come back in 1 week or come back in 2 weeks. Like that.
yeah.
You
I
wouldn't.
I remember my first prep was like that, and it was he was a pro bodybuilder from New Zealand.
Yeah.
He just turned his pro, and I looked up to him and I was like, man, this guy is the man. Like his legs and it's crazy. And he was working at a supplement store, and I'd go in and see him, and I said to him, oh, can you help me get ready to compete? And he's like, yeah, cool. And he wrote me out the diet. And he's like, come back and see me in a month. And I was like, okay, follow it. Come back and see him in a month. He's like, see me in a couple of weeks, and then that was
Yeah.
basically it.
And as you got closer to the show, they'd just come and see you a little bit
Yeah,
more frequent.
yeah,
And honestly, I mean, we joke about it. We joke about it now, but I would say, and listen, okay, you can't, you wouldn't coach like that now,
no,
but well, I say that, but there's an element of my coaching that still does that. Okay, all right, which we can talk about. But there's a part of me that goes, things were a lot easier for the athlete back then
yeah,
because there was a lot less noise, and they just come and saw you because they looked up at you as the guy, the authority
yeah,
of getting them ready. But they didn't have all the noise in their ears of, oh, maybe we should do it this way, or maybe we should do it that way, or what
yeah,
about this new thing that I've read on online. And because there was never really, there was none of that. There was none of that. It was just
Well, it
yeah,
was
it
the
was,
message boards, right? That
yeah,
was
that
that
was all
was
that
it.
was all it was about.
It was like bodybuilding.com. There was it Brutal Muscle?
Yeah.
Um,
I think
in chat.
bodybuilding.com was the main one, if I remember right. But yeah, there was loads of forums, and even in the forums there was, well, it's just like every day now. It's just a lot of bullshit.
Do you,
Um, uh,
Do you think, not to move too quickly from like the past to present, but do you feel like nowadays when people are hiring coaches, they're expecting more frequent changes from their coaches on a weekly basis, like updating plans, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
their expectation?
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um, I try and get all that nonsense done and spoke about at the start. I'm like,
yeah,
right, okay, if you're making fucking progress, there's not gonna be no changes. Here's your fucking training plan as well. And that's another thing as well. I mean, again, I don't want to go too far in front, but it's like fucking training plans. It's like I'll always ask my like I think with you, right? I said
yep,
with you, right? It's like I says like, how are you training at the minute? What's your training split? Okay,
yep,
cool. Right, okay. How do you train at the minute? Cool. Are you enjoying the way you fucking train at the minute?
yep. I
Because
remember this.
yeah, and I'm like, if you're enjoying yourself with your training, you've told me how you train, it's good to go. To just keep training like that. Because if I change everything and
You don't like it?
potentially you don't like it, in your head you're going to follow it anyway because you're like, I've got to follow it because my coach has fucking told me to do it. But you're not fucking really enjoying it. You know, there's certain movements that you like doing. There's certain like
Yeah.
so. You know, there's an element of that as well with where we can talk about. But I've fucking lost. Where were we? Where
Well, back
well,
to the early days
we've gone up. Yeah,
of
yeah.
coaching. Yeah,
So the early days of coaching was that, and then I sort of transitioned into. It wasn't even a a a, a purpose driven thing. It
yeah,
was just I was a fucking very good personal trainer. I used to fucking have like 8, 9 fucking clients a day. You know what it's like when you're on the fucking
yep,
gym floor, and it was bam, 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 bang all through the day. And I got to a point where it was like the demand. I was having people waiting and when I was on the gym floor, it wasn't at a gym like one of these fancy fucking gyms. It was a spit and sawdust gym. Like, do you know what I mean? It
dungeon.
was a it was a fucking proper fucking
Yeah,
bodybuilding gym. So that's pretty much all I fucking knew. But I had the ability, maybe it was my the way I was from a personality, I had the ability to bring people in who wasn't necessarily bodybuilders,
yeah,
but give them a taste of it, just enough for them to help their physique change while still living their normal life, right?
yeah,
And anyway, the demand got so much, I was like, I can't fucking earn any more money because
yeah,
there's no more hours in the day, and I'm already here from 6 in the morning till fucking 9 at night. Because as you know,
yeah,
when you're on the gym floor, it's not like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 like back to back hours. They're all just like all over the day, right?
yeah,
So I then started looking into it, and this is like I said before, online coaching was a thing. I then started going, right, okay, people are now going to start paying for just the hour of my time. Okay,
yeah,
and what I mean by that is they had a choice when they come and saw me for that hour. We could either sit down and talk and do your diet. We can sit down and do your training, or we can go in the gym floor and do a do a do a training session. Okay, so I started doing that, and then I'd have sessions coming in where they'd come in with sit down and do their nutritional setup for the week or whatever.
yeah,
But bearing in mind when you're personal training, um, it's that overlook of are you making progress is just very vague, isn't it?
yep,
It's like it's very vague. It's just like, okay, you come in again next week. How are you feeling about last week? Do you feel as if you're dropping weight? Are you gaining weight? Like, it's very vague. So I thought to myself, well, how can I see better results? How can I see better
mm,
results and get more adherence to it? Because I wasn't that fucking bothered if they were sticking to the diet.
yeah, true, yeah,
They were just coming in to train with me, right?
training,
Okay.
yeah,
And if they didn't stick to the diet that they paid for that hour for, that's fucking on them. Like they're continuing to come back. Um, so then I started being like, right, okay, I'm now gonna like do like a little a setup, a program where I'm like, right, I'm gonna look after I'm gonna look after your diet, and you're gonna start sending me via messages like
got it.
your weekly pictures, your weekly
Yep,
body weight. Because again, back then it wasn't a case of asking them a million fucking questions. Okay, it was
no,
just what's your body weight, how you looking, are we making progress? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I started charging a fee to look after them in the background on a weekly basis, and then the personal trainer when they come in, and we'd basically do their training plan that I've designed. We'll go through those sessions, okay?
Nice. Yeah.
And then I don't know, mate. It just started. I got to the point where I was like, right, I'm going to work 3 days a week at the gym, and then the rest is going to do that. Gonna just be this kind of little setup program that I've done. Where I'll
Had you started competing yet during this period, or
yes. So I started.
okay?
Because I left. I stopped playing football because I kept getting fucking injured. So
Yeah,
I stopped playing football, and as a personal trainer, the little bit of money that I was earning from playing football
wasn't enough.
wasn't enough to warrant a fucking week or 2 weeks off the gym floor. Okay.
Yeah,
So I stopped that, and I because I've got such literally from fucking 8 years old from playing football, I got such a competitive fucking mindset, and if I don't have something in my life that's driven towards sport competition,
a goal.
I'll
Yeah.
I'll feel lost, mate.
Yeah.
I generally would, and I mean that from a deep perspective as well.
Honestly, on that point is I'm the same. I grew up doing taekwondo from the age of 5 to
Yeah,
18,
yeah,
and I wouldn't train. Like I wouldn't know what to train, like how to train. Like if I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
have a goal or a purpose, I'd be like, what am I doing? Like I couldn't just go.
yeah.
It's
No, I agree,
yeah,
mate. Um, so I started competing myself, and that's when obviously I met Neil. Well, just before I met Neil, I went over to India to train a Bollywood actor, personal
oh yeah,
training, a Bollywood actor for 4 months. Worst experience of my life. In because
I bet.
I was living in Mumbai. And it was fucking crazy. Um, so I met Neil out there. Bearing in mind, I'd have just I still had I had this like 10, 15 clients that I had. I was starting to do this new program where I'd just be getting them to check in once a week, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So I was over there doing that, and whilst I was over there doing that in India, I was actually getting more
clients.
clients through, call it online training or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just because again, it was all Facebook then as well. It wasn't really Instagram. It was just all
yeah,
Facebook.
yeah,
Um, so whilst I was out in India, I was having a pretty fucking bad time. I was having a pretty bad time. Because it is like genuinely, I mean no disrespect, but where I was stopping was a fucking shithole.
yeah. It's
Um,
poverty. Yeah,
it's fucking horrible, and it's not a nice thing to see. Some of the things you see out there, but I was out there because it was good. It was good for my profile as well as a trainer, because I was out there training a very 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 well known Bollywood actor, and I was gathering quite a momentum of following. But then I realised the fucking following was obviously just all fucking Indian, and so it's not really. So yeah, so I I reached out to Neil whilst I was out there because I was on a day-to-day basis, having coffee with, do you know Chris Gethin?
yeah, yeah,
So I was so Chris Gethin and Neil then was they were
okay, yeah,
doing their DTP and Y3T, and they was both out there training a Bollywood actor too, because we was all
yeah,
with the same company, right? And he was like, "Oh, come over and see me," because he was only like an hour away on a flight. So I went over and saw Neil, and it's just one of those things where you meet someone
yeah. You click.
like that, and it was
Yeah,
just a fucking good time with Neil for a few days, and yeah, we just connected. There was never a talk about competing or anything like that. It was just we got on really fucking well.
yeah,
Well, anyway, I come back from India. At which point, obviously, I'd quit football. So I decided to jump in a bodybuilding show. Okay, all
yeah,
right. I say a bodybuilding show. I didn't know categories or anything there. I just did
yeah,
men's physique because I thought I weren't a big guy. It's like I just come off the back end of football.
yeah,
So I started a men's physique a prep, and Neil, whilst I was in prep, Neil had come back from India.
Yeah.
It was back home down in Tenby in Wales, where he's from. And I was like, oh, Neil's back. I'm gonna go down and see him. So I went down and saw Neil. And he was like, now you're in shape. He was like, you doing a show? And I was like, yeah, I'm doing a show. And he was like, well, if you want me to help you out, I can help you out. And I was like, really? Because I was thinking, because even before I
Yeah.
met Neil, even before I met Neil and I was getting into bodybuilding, I was copying workouts
From them.
From Neil and Flex.
Yeah, that would have been the height of flex. Like I even remember to this day there was this shoulder exercise Flex used to do, and it
Right.
was like a tricep. Do you remember the tricep one? And he'd do like a side raise and then a front raise like this, and then
Yeah,
finish like
yeah,
this,
yeah. yeah,
and
yeah.
then he'd do the 100 rep. And I know Brett. This is quite funny. Brett Wilkin and Martin do this 100 rep tricep thing. I'm
Okay.
like, Flex did that years ago. I
Yeah, he
remember
is.
seeing him do. Flex is
Yeah.
a bloody legend. He came to New Zealand. He was the coolest guy. I was like,
Oh,
man,
mate,
this kid, yeah,
he's my favorite bodybuilder ever. Okay.
by far, yeah,
Um, and I mean that from a physique perspective, but also his
personality,
personality
yeah,
and who he is as a professional.
yeah.
This guy, like, fucking,
I,
if you look at professional, mate, this guy it should say Flex Lewis next to it.
I've got a story about him actually. When I went and saw him, I was like, my mate wanted to meet you. He's a big fan, but he couldn't come. He had to work, and
Yeah.
he's like, what's your mate's name? And then stood there and he's like, take this video, and he took a video, and then he signed a card for him and said, "I'll go give him this photo." And I was like, "Fucking
Yeah.
hell!"
Yeah.
And I remember, and I'm not going to mention, but he's an 8-time Mr. Olympia, so you can kind of guess.
Yeah.
Um, that was like the week after, and I went and saw him, and he kind of screwed up his nose, and he was like going, "Oh, $20 for the photo."
Really.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." You got Flex here, who's like free doing all these things, and you had
Yeah.
another guy who was like $20 for a photo, and I was like,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah. Well, that's the
kind of
difference.
put me off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the difference. And you know what? It could take a moment like that or a thing like that for you to go, "Ah, I don't like him anymore."
yep.
Uh,
And
but anyway,
from then I did and never did.
yeah. But then, anyway, so Neil helped me a lot. He helped me out, yeah, I think that's how it is. Yeah. And then from ever since then, he was my coach. He was my mentor. I used to drive down and see him down in Tenby. Used to be great. Me and the missus used to go down.
Nice.
I say missus because she was a missus then. She's obviously a wife now. And he's, he became the godfather of my eldest, and it was just a really, really,
Natural
really good.
progression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got into competing, and I did fucking pretty well under him, mate. There was
Yeah.
many regional shows that I'd win regional shows, and so yeah, went into started competing, come back from India, and then it was just, I don't know, mate. I got to the point where I was like, I actually don't need to be on the gym floor anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to be on the gym floor anymore. And then Instagram came around, and it was just, yeah, it just all sort of progressed from there, and it was like it was an odd one, really, because I can't really remember or pinpoint a period where it transitioned from I was getting the normal lifestyle client to then started getting people who wanted to compete. I think
Did you
it wasn't until I started competing,
did
but
it
what I would
happen?
say is that it wasn't until I started competing that the competitors started coming through.
Did you find did you feel like there was someone that gave you a chance at the start though to help them
Absolutely.
prep for it?
Absolutely, yeah. There was multiple, mate. There was
Yeah.
multiple.
Yeah.
And and I mean this, there was no I mean by this, no disrespect for anyone that I worked with at the start. But there weren't many of them that, you know, were ever going to be great bodybuilders.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And I think that's a thing nowadays where people become a online coach, prep coach, you know, whether it's way too soon, that's another topic. But they kind of expect these big names and great physiques to come through the door. What I would actually say to any coach that is starting, and that is, once people see your ability, and again, I mean this in the fucking kindest way, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I certainly from myself as well, and I'm sure you will as well. But if I've got a coach in front of me that has the ability to get an average Joe in fucking shape and look great,
Yeah.
that's more impressive to me than a
Then the
guy
legend.
and a coach
Yeah.
getting someone who's genetically gifted in shape.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Just take that into consideration. Like, any coaches that are just starting out, do not worry about the guy or girl in front of you not structurally or genetically being blessed to do great things on the stage. Get those fuckers in shape and share them.
What do you think is what do you feel like makes the best bodybuilder? Because I know a lot of people, and it's kind of annoys me. I've been in the industry for so long, and I took a bit of a break and then came back, and it's like now, really, really back into it. Um, but one thing I always get annoyed about is it's either drugs or genetics. That's the two things that people say all the time. It's like that's the most important thing. It's like how much drugs they take in genetics. But like to you, as from a coach's perspective, what would you prefer to have? Like, what do you feel like is the most important thing from a client?
Oh, just fucking coachability.
Yeah,
Like, hard work, mate, hard workers. Because there's nothing. I've generally had, bro. I've had two Olympians. Okay,
yeah,
all right, two Olympians. I got rid of one of them. I got rid of them
yeah,
because they weren't coachable. It was like,
yeah,
okay, I took you to where I can take you with your lack of adherence and lack of hard work. I can't do anything else with you. Okay,
yeah,
there's no point because you're never going to change. So,
yeah,
for me, okay, maybe that doesn't answer your question, because what is a great, because unfortunately a great bodybuilder is someone who is structurally, genetically blessed, who worked hard.
yeah.
Who worked hard, because
Well,
those fucking genetics will take you so fucking far. They will. Though your genetics and your structure being blessed in that sense will take you so far, and it will probably take you higher than 99% of people.
yep,
But then once you go from that, what if you want to get into that fucking 1%, fucking the best
top
in
of
the
the top.
world,
Yeah,
the bet, well, then hard work, adherence, coachability, you know, those things are gonna those things are gonna take
I,
you way, way further.
I think the key word you said to me last week was you're like a robot,
Be
and
like a robot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
Be
that's the
like a
easiest
robot.
thing. It's like
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
don't, you know me, I don't say much of my check-ins to you. I
yeah,
literally just say, yeah, everything's good.
yeah,
I'm following the plan,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
if I've got an issue, I'll say. But most of the time, I'm just like, fuck, I just carry on. If I'm improving, then we're good.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, mate.
um,
But then, I think you're pretty much then up to where I am now. I'd say my success started coming when I got my. I'd say my success in terms of, again, it's like that. What does success mean in coaching? Okay, right?
yeah,
And unfortunately, as a coach, your success is going to be driven by the results, right? Okay.
yeah,
And I don't just mean the physiques that you put on stage, because that should be our first and foremost successful story, is putting those physiques on stage. But as a coach, when you're leveling up, unfortunately, it is the wins. It is the
yep,
pro cards. It is the pro wins. It is the Olympians. Like, so I would say, my, and I actually remember being sat in, it was about four maybe 4.5, 5 years ago. I sat in the at a show, at a pro qualifier. I sat there, and one of the who was it? One of the guys I think one of the guys that were putting on the show. It was a pro qualifier, and he'd seen me doing well. Like, I kept getting these regional overall wins, and I was doing really well with all my amateurs.
Yeah.
I didn't really have many. I didn't have any pros.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "You could do with a fucking," because he knew who I had. He knew who I had competing, and he was a very, 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 very good men's physique amateur. And he says, "You could do with this one today, couldn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could fucking do with it." And he ended up taking the pro card. He ended up taking the pro card. And then, and I'm not afraid to say it, but then from there, bang, 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 bang. That level of client that came in just got
Yeah.
better and better and better. I got another another amateur over the line, and it kept coming. And then over the last 2 years, was when I really started, racking those accolades up. I've now
Nice,
got,
mate.
10. I say I got 10 guys over the line as an IFBB pro. I got 2 Olympians, but now I sit here in 2026, and my roster is pretty much 80% IFBB pros.
It's stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's such a and anyone who's listening here is like, bearing in mind, it's only been the last 2 years
Yeah.
that I've had all these the pros coming in, and these pro shows. And bearing in mind, I started my journey on the gym floor.
It's a culmination of 18 years though. Because what
Yes,
people are,
18 years. It's 18
yeah,
years.
what I think, and this will be good for people who are listening who want to be coaches, is, and that's why I get annoyed. And I do help people. I do coach people on the side
Yep.
now and then when I can be fucked, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
But what I see is like these online coaches go, "Oh, I'll do a show and then I'm going to start coaching people."
Yeah.
And like, just because you got prepped by Joe Blog doesn't mean you can run some repeat and coach someone else. It's, you're a prime example of like his 18 years of knowledge. You had a mentor, you had someone who's really helped and supported you, and now they're seeing the success, but they didn't see the 18 years that happened before it.
No,
They
and
see
you know what?
the 2
And you
years.
know what? You might get people say, "Well, what does that gym floor? What has that got to do with coaching?"
Everything.
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 It's the most important thing. And you know what that is? People fucking management.
Yep.
Learning how to manage all these different personalities, sometimes fucking more than one in one person. Okay.
Yep.
All these different personalities, all these problem solving things. Like, for example, an online coach. Okay. All right. Coach, I can't feel this exercise. Okay. Send me a visual. Here's the instruction on how to do that exercise. But it's that experience of being on the gym floor that you could say, try doing this cue. Try shifting this, try doing that. And it's sometimes the textbook don't fucking tell you all that fucking shit. Okay. All right. And unless you've been on the gym floor with fucking thousands of different fucking physiques, doing what one exercise sometimes needs to be shifted in different ways for different physiques. Like, unless you've been on the gym floor, you're never going to fucking know that. You're never, ever going to know that.
It's funny you say this. A girl is in the gym I train at yesterday. It's the private gym, right? And she's
Yeah.
training with her brother. She's doing a dumbbell press. She, mind you, never trained chest in her life before.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't put her on a dumbbell press. I'd be like, it's the chest press, and like,
Okay.
and she goes, I can't feel it. And then I said to her, look, do you mind me just saying something? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, try not get lost in sensation, because that's the other thing I think people really get stuck up in. And it's like when you're first starting to train, like we all remember when we first benched, fuck, it was awkward. Like, and you did not feel a thing. You're like shaking. And I said to her, just don't worry about sensation. Go point A to point B and perfect that. and just
Yeah,
get
yeah,
better at that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and afterwards, she was like, "Oh, now I feel it, and I'm starting to feel it." I was like, "Because you're not thinking about it; you're just doing
Yeah,
what you're
yeah, yeah.
supposed to." But you're 100% right. Like there's, yeah, I think that's the mistake. Is like people don't like. I remember my time. Like we had this role called a blue cap
Right.
when you first started being on a gym floor. I worked in a gym in South Auckland, which is like Stoke-on-Trent to you guys. Like
Okay.
it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
yeah, pretty rough and bunch of Maldies and island fellas and big boys. And I remember just walking and I would put the weights away basically
Yeah,
and I would just observe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'd just stand there and watch how they trained and what they did. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that next time they train. And that's
Yeah,
all it is. You just go
yeah,
from there.
no, yeah, no, absolutely, mate. No, absolutely. But yeah, I just don't miss out all that thing. Like the first thing people, that's the first advice I'd give for anyone who wants to be a coach. Make sure you've been on the gym floor. Make
Yeah.
sure you've been Make sure you've worked with multiple. Start from work with lifestyle. Don't just go straight into to competing because the skill sets that you get from working with the lifestyle clients, you can honestly take into
Transfer over. Yeah.
take into and that even if that's kind of having
Yeah.
patience with your clients, right? Okay, all right, because we all are humans, and yes, okay, we need to be prep coaching is competitive bodybuilding is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
But there's elements of patience that you need to have with even experienced bodybuilders that you'll learn from coaching lifestyle. Coaching
Yeah.
lifestyle. Um,
Do, do you find at times it's harder to coach pros? Or do you find it, or different aspects of coaching pros harder?
um, I don't know, man. I think when you're technically it shouldn't be, right? Technically it should be
Should be
what
easier.
what I would say is that there is a lot of pros out there. There's a lot of pros out there that can be so much better than what they are.
Yeah,
Uh, but they just they've managed to gain a physique on grafting or adhering or doing what they're doing at 70-80% of their life.
yeah,
And getting them to go from that 70-80% to 100 is sometimes that's the key that
the dial.
certain
Yeah,
coaches can get it out of them. Because I've worked with people before, and it's like that. It's like my Olympian. It's like I've done everything I fucking can. I can't get you
to the next level.
to max your potential because you're just unfucking coachable.
Yeah,
Unfucking coachable. So there that I'd say in that aspect, there is a lot of pros out there, and it is hard work getting them from that 70-80 to 100, because that 70 to 80 has served them very, very well for a long, long, long time.
yeah,
But no, I would say the majority, there's the coaching pros and coaching top level amateurs is usually easier. Is
yeah.
usually is
Makes
is
sense.
u- is usually easier because I don't know. No, I fucking don't know, because I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now because I'm saying it now because the reason why I say that is because amateurs who
I like
don't
deer in headlights. That's what I
yes,
call them.
yes, yeah. So
They
you
don't know.
they're they're going into the unknown, right? Okay.
Yep.
Whereas pros nowadays, I would also say, or top level amateurs nowadays, because of the noise that is around them, and because every competitor now also thinks they're a coach. They kind of like almost think they know better.
Yep.
Like
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
think they know, not everyone, but think they know better, and it can sometimes clash. Um, um, this is where a level of me being the coach, them being the athlete, is kind of the level. There's a line between listening to each other, but then there's a line where they'll cross, and they'll like, and then once they cross that, I'll fucking tell them, and I'll say, I'm listening to what you're saying, but I'm giving you reasons why that will or won't work. If you're not going to
So,
fucking listen, then
yeah.
it's done.
Sometimes I find I've coached. I attend a girl pro, and like I'm picking up a couple of girls this year, and I find the girls actually a lot easier, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I find with them is like they're trying to get you to agree to their opinion
Yeah.
on what they
Yeah.
should do, and that's what they do. And then they'll word it in a way to make you go yes. And then on the other side, when you have like, I picked up a young girl, and bless her, right? A few about a month ago, and she said, "Oh, randomly, just a random day, she
Yeah.
sends me in this photo, and she was out of shape, and then she sent me this photo of must have been like 8 weeks later, and she's like, "Oh, here's a recomp phase I did 5 years ago," and it was just random, and I was
Yeah.
like. I looked at it and I didn't say anything. I was like, "Oh, thank you," and I stood back and I was like, "I wonder what she was thinking when she sent that." And like
Yeah.
the 5 years ago matter.
What she was probably thinking is, this is what I did last time for this. Should we do this again?
Yeah, yeah. But then
Yeah.
I just looked at it, I was like, "Cool, let's just keep following the plan."
Yeah.
But that's where I find there's differences in them and levels. And I was more curious around your your opinion, but I wanted to move into because I think last year your name kind of got shoved into, I guess, the spotlight a little bit
Over here, yeah. Yeah.
uh, for some reason,
Yeah.
and that was with James,
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
and taking it.
Okay. Yeah. Latter end of last year, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
latter end of last year. It was James, and he had Sophie and all of that. But I think James is what really goes, oh, the people in America who only think America is the only country in the world,
yeah.
doesn't realize it's other coaches elsewhere.
Yeah.
But how's the experience with James been? Because I know you guys have been close for many
I mean,
years.
yeah, I've known James. I've known James since I used to compete. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But James was always the bodybuilder, and I was just a little men's physique guy. Okay, and but whenever we crossed paths, we was always hello and on socials, and I had a lot of respect for James because again, even though that we it wasn't at a point of relationship where we was hanging out or anything like that, but I kind of just, when I saw his stuff on social media and stuff, I was like, I like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy seems so down to fucking earth and so in tune with the fucking real world.
Yep.
And so we got on, and then we obviously both with Gasp. We're both with Gasp, so we saw each other at events with there, and then we started playing fucking Call of Duty together, playing Call of Duty together.
Yeah.
But yeah, we built a strong friendship, and throughout his preps, I never really said much about what was going on with James, is because James is obviously a fucking highly successful
Mm-hmm.
professional bodybuilder who is one of the best, one of the very
Underrated, man.
yeah, one of the very, 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 very fucking best. And there was times in prep where I kind of looked at his physique on socials, and because I am very fucking respectable when it comes to if I know that even if a close friend has got have got a coach, I won't
Yeah.
really dive much into it. Like, I'll ask them how they're getting on and how things going well, etc. But it's very, very much, and I'm sure it just wasn't just me, but I was very much like, I think James could be so much better. And there's like, every time James gets to like fucking 4 weeks out, I'm like, fuck, he looks fucking amazing. Like, and
Yeah.
I'd be that guy. I'd be that fanboy as a coach, even though James didn't know, even though we were fucking close friends, even though James didn't know, I'd be that fucking guy sending fucking James's updates to friends. Like,
Yeah.
that I've seen
Yeah.
on social media, Like, I'm like, look at fucking James now, man. He's looking fucking great. And then for whatever reason, well, we kind of know, but for whatever reason, it just never kind of
Just landed the plane.
landed. And there was a point of his last prep into the fucking what's going on the TV in the background. Hang on. There was a point of his last prep. He did France, and I thought, nah, like this is the worst he's ever fucking looked. Like this is
Yeah.
the worst. This is the small James's fucking weapon is this big fucking it's the shed.
Well,
Okay,
he's
all
almost
right.
6 foot, right?
Yeah. So his strong point was always his big bubbly fucking physique, his size, and he just looked half the man he was on the front stage. Again, I was still very, 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 very respectable for because the fact that he was obviously working with a coach. And then just one random day, I get a fucking phone call. I get a phone call. And he
Yeah.
was like, I don't want your honest opinion. Like, what's if I send you, send you my update and what did you think of France? And I was honest with him. I just says it was your worst. It was the worst I've ever fucking seen you. And at this point, I'm still not fucking haggling for a fucking client because at the end of the day as well, mate, at this point, at the end of last year, I am well known for men's physique, and I've got some classic guys.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about like when he asked me for a phone call. I wasn't even thinking he was phoning up to fucking ask me to coach. He was like, come over and let's have a training session and yeah. So it did, and it just went from there, mate. Like that was it. And honestly, like my experience, I fucking love. I've got this newfound fucking passion for coaching open bodybuilders. And that's not because I didn't have a passion for it before, but the nature, is it the nature of the beast? What's the word I'm looking for, mate?
Do you feel like it's more tools in the shed?
Yeah,
to play
absolutely.
with?
And it's different. It's so different. It's so different. But
because there's no what do you call it? There's no limiter.
No,
Right?
that's
like
it.
when you go to men's, it's like every other class. There's a limit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You
no,
know,
absolutely. And so I obviously started working with James, and it's just been so fucking good because we really connect on a level. Like I kind of understand his where his head's at, and he knows that he can talk to me from a mentally sort of psychological standpoint. Like he knows that he can always talk to me because when you're at that level, there is a lot going
Works
on.
with you, man.
There is a lot going on. There's so much social noise. But
I do have to say something, and because I saw a lot of shit come, and I don't know James at all, right? But I find UK people and Kiwis are very similar, in our perspective and outlook on life.
Yeah.
And I got pretty pissed off because I was looking at shit online and people going, oh, he's ditched another coach and all this shit. And on my end of the fucking day, it's his job.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, and people don't understand that. Like, he earns a lot of fucking money as a professional bodybuilder to make sure that he continues to be the best bodybuilder that he can. Okay, all right.
And I think I don't know James. I don't know what he was thinking, but I think in his mind is like, I'm a dad.
Yeah.
Got a wife.
Yeah.
There's more response. It's not just him.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm honestly, mate. Like, I've told athletes before, this is as far as you're going to get in competitive bodybuilding. And I was honest to James, and I was like, there's so much more left in you, mate. There is so much better you can be. He can be so much better. I'm not just talking like about what he brought to France. I'm talking as a general fucking bodybuilder. Like, I just feel if he's so well balanced, I fucking love his physique. I'm like, there's just so much fucking more to give in this for you as a bodybuilder. So don't have any doubts. Don't listen to these twats on fucking social media, because they know jack shit. Like a lot of these motherfuckers know jack shit. And you know what? Like he's never said bad things about any fucking coach that he's fucking been with.
No,
It's just it didn't work, and I want something else. That's it. That's
and
it.
that's the way, you know. And I think everyone who sees these athletes who leave coaches should understand. At the end of the day, same with Nick Walker,
Mm,
it's their fucking job, it's their career,
yeah,
and it's like,
yeah,
you know, if I wasn't happy at my job, I would
yeah,
fucking leave and go to another job, and
yeah.
everyone else would do the
It's
same shit.
it's mental, mate. The amount of coaches that fucking throw up a fuss or what have you with people when they leave. I'm not saying that any of his old coaches did, but yeah, it's just fucking stupid. It's just fucking
But
stupid.
I think also on the same point is like you were saying before, was you would get rid of a client if they're not working for you.
Yeah,
It's your reputation.
exactly that. Exactly that.
Um,
Exactly that.
no,
But yeah, so
that's cool, bro.
oh,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I was just
yeah,
saying
yeah.
that it's good
Yeah,
to see you guys.
so obviously, from a perspective of me now being seen as this coach that does more than just men's physique and classic, I'm now getting a lot more clients through open, even bikini. We know that big for
Yep.
bikini. And obviously I had Sophie very, very, very successful in figure. But yeah, so everything's going really, 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 really well.
Yeah,
And
that's cool,
26 is
man.
gonna be 26 is
Yeah.
gonna be fucking absolutely
It,
nuts.
I think we're myself and Lily are your two Kiwis, right? The only
You're my two Kiwis. I'm looking to build the Kiwi community.
you can
Uh,
take over, man. You can take over.
um,
There's a few pro shows. Remember, I
Yes,
sent you.
no, absolutely, mate, no, absolutely,
Yeah.
and if well, I'm fucking gonna be there for one of them because Lily's doing one.
Well,
Um,
your accommodation is already sorted, so don't worry.
yes, there we go.
Yeah, we
But
got you
also,
on the side.
I also spoke to Rick the other day, about coming over and doing some like training camps
Cool, man.
Q&As and questionnaires. Obviously, link it all with Strom,
Yeah.
and yeah, we'll do some pretty cool get-togethers.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll take you down to the muscle department, the private gym. You'll like it.
okay,
It's a
yeah,
good place. The
definitely.
guy is the distributor for Jim Leco and all that.
Okay.
So
Okay, I think
he's got
James is actually building a little home gym, and he's doing
good on
he's
it.
and he was saying to me yesterday that he wants Jim Leco stuff.
Well, if he wants,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
hook him up with my mate
yeah,
RJ. He's one of my best friends, and
yeah.
he'll
Yeah,
help him out. So
I'll speak to him.
do you know that gym that Alessandro runs over in Italy? That everyone trains at when they go to the Italy Pro, and like Hunter goes, like every pro goes. It's like a
Who's that?
his name is Alessandro. I don't know what his gym is called, but it's a very private gym, and
Right.
he
Okay.
runs it. Rare equipment. The guy in New Zealand basically kitted it out for him.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So every piece of equipment is from him. So
Awesome.
yeah, man, we'll help James out. That's no problem. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man. I'll mention it. I'll mention it to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much, man. That was the longest fucking introduction to who I am I've ever fucking done.
Well, we've done a 45-minute introduction or 50-minute
Ah,
introduction, but
yeah.
we
This
won't be
is
too much longer.
this. I'm all right. I've got the time, but this is why I probably don't do many fucking podcasts because when I start chatting shit, I just
Bro,
fucking just
that's how we are over here anyway. We just talk
goes,
shit and then it carries
goes
on for an hour. Um,
everywhere.
what what are you looking forward to most this coming year?
Um, the I'm definitely looking forward to coming over there because it's a place that I've always wanted to go.
Yeah,
Um, um, you know what? I'm just looking forward to um, as I sit back now, I look at the roster of athletes that I've got, and it's like, fuck, this is going to be a fucking busy year. This is going to
Crazy,
be
man.
a crazy, crazy, crazy year, and it's just very, 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 very exciting, especially when, as I said, you know, as a coach just fucking starting, you don't really need to be thinking about this. But when you're at that kind of, I'm not going to say level, but when you're at that point, when you're at that point of coaching where I am now, where where your majority of shows are pro shows, and when you're trying to get athletes fucking Olympic qualifications. But I look at my roster now and I'm like, so many of them are good enough. So many of them are good enough to stand on that Olympia stage. And I've obviously experienced as a coach and as a spectator. As a coach, I've obviously experienced it twice with the two Olympians, but I've experienced it another 2 times being there in person as well.
Yeah,
As a just as a coach, as a fan of bodybuilding, I've been there twice, and now also I've been there twice as a coach watching it, and it's just exciting for the thought of, potentially getting another handful of athletes over the line to get on that Olympia stage, and so to fulfill their dream,
yeah,
because again, at the start of this ridiculously crazy long fucking introduction to who I am, I said that I'm a very, very competitive person.
yeah,
And I stopped bodybuilding myself for 2 reasons. Not sorry, I didn't stop bodybuilding. I stopped competitive bodybuilding myself for 2 reasons. The first and foremost was because I wanted to be a better coach.
yeah.
I wanted to put all my eggs in coaching, like everything. I wanted to, and I kind of felt that
You had
moving
to.
on, moving on to the second reason was I was a better coach than what I am as a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
and like I had so many memories. I've done 13, 14 shows as an amateur. Okay, all right. And I did very, very, very well as an amateur, very well as an amateur. But being the coach that I am, I also know that if I was to go could I get a fucking pro card at a
Probably.
very, probably if I went all in for 100% and the competition on that day wasn't that great. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But then as a pro, it would stop anyway because I reached structurally
The limit.
for me.
Yeah,
I've hit my limit. Like I got a fucking big old fucking waist, a big old fucking head. It just doesn't do the ratios any fucking good, mate.
yeah,
Okay, right?
yeah,
Um, um, my passion for bodybuilding is not there, but my competitiveness, honestly, I get from coaching just as much as I did as a competitor myself. When I'm stood there at the show watching my fucking guys and girls on stage, I'm getting the same buzz of what they're getting on stage. Okay, right?
You, you know, it's funny you say that, and I don't think people. Well, I don't know if this has ever been said to you, but that's kind of what made me click with you because I've worked with people,
Yeah,
and I told you I've had people who just didn't give a shit,
yeah.
and you can tell that you give a shit,
I mean, I
and
fucking
that
apps. Mate, I will do anything in my
mm,
power to fulfill an athlete's dreams and aspirations
mm,
to compete at whatever level they want to compete. I'm always realist with them. I'll tell them if it's going to happen or if I think it's going to happen.
yeah,
And yeah, like from being there in person, fuck me, mate. I traveled the last fucking 4 years. I have traveled everywhere.
oh
Um,
man,
and,
you were in
uh,
Japan, you're in fucking France, yeah, fucking everywhere.
yeah. Um, and I love every second of it. Just as much like if I can never get to, because I can't get to every client shows, but when I'm when I'm sat, like I'll be sat here on a Saturday or a Sunday if I've got clients, I'm just watching them on stage on the streams and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like, I am even on you'll know this if you ask anyone who I work with. Like, even when I'm not at the show, I'm on your shoulder.
yeah,
Because honestly, mate, I am fucking boom. I am like on it with them. Like
yeah.
I'm asking for fucking updates and fucking like I don't know. It's just it's just the way it's just the way I am as a coach. I just fucking love it. I love that show day. I love the build up to it. I love the competitiveness, and I just want my fucking guys and girls to
You,
fucking look. Gone.
you know what I'll say though is like what you say there. I think that's the one thing that's missing from a lot of bodybuilders these days, and to making them really good, is that they never did a sport growing up. They never did any form of competitive
Yeah. Okay.
anything, and then
Yeah.
they do bodybuilding. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they, you go through your whole childhood and you've never done anything competitive, and then you go, "Fuck, I'm gonna do a beauty pageant. It's the most competitive fucking beauty pageant in the world, and
Yeah.
I have to
Yeah.
train my ass off and diet, and it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna step on stage in front of 1,000 people in a
Yeah.
G string, basically,
Yeah. Yeah.
and pose. And I've never been competitive,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
want to do well, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
No.
I just,
No.
I tell
Yeah.
them, I tell them, I was like, sorry, man, like it's just like if you've
Yeah.
never been competitive
You,
in your
you
life,
need to be. You need to be competitive. You need to be a realist. You need to be. Um. Yeah. You can't do bodybuilding and not be. There's. No, I tell you what. And if there's a single person out there that says to me, listen. I've always reiterated that the most important thing of that you should be your priority on stage is looking your best. Okay, 100%. That's a given. But if there's any competitive bodybuilder out there
I know what
that
you're gonna say.
honestly turns around to me and says, "I don't mind if I don't win," like
Fuck off.
fuck off, mate. No, 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 absolutely not. We all go to win. We all go to win.
There's
But
this. There's no fucking way, man. Like, can you imagine if you like, let's say you're Phil Heath, right, and you've done this for fucking 15 years, and
yeah,
he goes up to the umpire and goes, "I don't mind."
I just mind not winning.
And it's
Fuck
like,
off, mate.
also, right? It's so
Yeah.
like she plays where she plays, but she wouldn't have trained like she did if she didn't fucking want to win.
There's got to be an element of belief in there. There's got to be an
Yeah,
element of
yeah, you have to, you have to.
um,
What's I guess. Well, I know, but I won't answer it. But what's coming up new for you in the coming months or so?
okay, so you mean the with it? So obviously with the coaching, I've been with one of my best friends,
Cal,
Callum, for a while,
yeah,
and helping him build what is the most successful brand in the UK, competitive prep, whatever you want to call it, coaching brand, and that is obviously Pro Coach. And obviously made the decision to step away, and just because I wanted something a little bit more. Um, I
yours,
wanted, yeah, I wanted something of mine. I wanted something of mine. That was always Callum's. It was always Callum's egg, and I feel very blessed and privileged and happy that I've been able to help him grow Pro Coach where it's going. But it was just time to do something on my own. Okay, but
mm,
it came some. So basically, I made that decision to step away and start a new coaching brand. Um, and then an opportunity has come up to go sort of 50-50 with someone who I'm very, 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 very excited to start, and it's going to be fucking massive. So I'm going over to Vegas to have a chat about it. So people may know who it is, and but yeah, it's exciting. It's very, 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 very exciting. Obviously going over there to have a chat, make sure share some ideas, and make sure that everything aligns with what we want from the brand. And it's just
awesome,
gonna
man.
yeah, and it's just gonna be I just want everything to feel very, very fucking natural. But um it's kind of me wanting to build a legacy of, like, for example, you said yourself there, it's like your name's just been put into the mix of
Yeah.
late. Well, actually over here my name's been
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
been but I want to be able to be I don't want to be, unfortunately everything is a lot on social media. I don't want to be known as Zac Team Pro Coach. I want to be known as Zac fucking Fotheringham. And I want to
Yeah,
build a legacy that I can honestly say, this is mine.
yeah,
This is my legacy, or this is 50-50 our legacy, who I'm going to be doing it with. Like, this is something that people can go, people can go that and
They
Zac with
say,
it.
I think I know, and I know who you're talking about, but
Yeah,
I think when we talk about things like this, it's like, you know, Jay Cutler, for example. When I got into bodybuilding, it was because of Jay Cutler. I saw him on a magazine. I was like, fuck,
yeah,
that's cool. Like, I want to
yeah,
train like him. And the one thing people make a mistake of when they're making brands, and my whole job is helping people fucking build their careers and all that. That's literally what I do in my company is it's career development.
yeah,
Um, is they do not do brand building,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they don't attach their brand in their name, and they don't
yeah,
bring that to life. And it's like that is your legacy. Like if you don't build your brand and your name, you're fucked. Like
yeah, yeah.
there's
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I totally fucking agree. I just want like even the little things like the boys to grow up and go, my fucking dad was like fucking one of those top level fucking bodybuilding coaches. They don't need to know
yeah,
anything else about it, but like he started this coaching brand, and this coaching brand there's all these coaches working in his with his sort of like um um philosophy, with his outlook on
ideology. Yeah,
how on ideology, how he thinks. Because, and again, when we hire coaches to work with us, and I said with us there, not fucking under us or fucking like when I
for
get
us, yeah,
coaches to work, with us, it's like I'm not just going to bring any coach on board. I want coaches that kind of sing off the same song sheet. Look at coaching how like I said to you, it's not just here's your plan, here's your diet, here's your training plan. Like being able to have a personality with their coaching, and like that personality, and I want that personality to be embedded, their personality to be embedded with the brand. Like, do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, I want their personality to add to the brand as much as the brand will add to theirs. I don't just want a load of coaches that do different fucking shit that just you just never know
You
really the brand is about.
you want a legacy. That's basically
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want. Yeah, that's what I want. And um,
And do you
so
feel like, not to go off topic, but do you feel like that's why you align with Strom as well? What Rich does.
fucking mate, Strom are amazing, bro. Like I know people will think that we're just saying that because we're part of it, but like like Rich, for example, the other day, this is a perfect example,
Yeah.
perfect example of the day. I says just randomly over Christmas, I was like, Rick, when you're free in the new year, mate, I'll come up and see you, and we'll grab a coffee. He was like, okay, and we'll here, and I was like, okay, it's cool. And then I think the first day couldn't make because I think he had his daughter. I was like, okay, cool. I'll whenever you're free, I'll come up, and I think we ended up coming up 2 days later because I went and saw him last week. And before I came up, and this is just what I mean about how we are as a team as well, as a strong
Yeah.
team, all right, and what we, even the athletes, we look at. I'm not a fucking athlete. I'm a coach athlete, whatever you want to call it. How we see things, our outlook on things, and our importance, our importance of being a fucking team. And he says to me, he just randomly. So this is the day before I was supposed to come up. He was like, "You're not coming up to tell me that you're fucking leaving, are you?" I'm like, I'm like, he was like, "Just in case you are, I can try and build up the sad face." And I says, "No, mate, I'm just fucking coming to see you." He was like, "What? It's gonna come and see me?" I was like, "Yes, mate. We're gonna
That's
come
it.
up for
That's Rich. That's Rich. Yeah.
I'm gonna come up for a coffee, and we'll go catch up, and we'll talk shit, and we'll fucking just have a catch up." And he was like, "Fucking hell, okay, I didn't know people do that."
Yeah. I have a story. It involves you as well, and you'll fucking crack up.
Well,
So I called him, and we're in a team call, and we're having a chat, and me and him just talk shit the whole time. So his mates beside him, he's like, "Fuck, this Kiwi guy is like," and he's like, "I was like, yeah, dude, you'll get used to me. I talk a lot of shit. I just do it. I don't care." And then because I said I asked him for advice. This is straight after the show, right?
Yeah.
And then I said to him on the call, I was like, I know I've teamed up with Zach, and he's like, well, what's the fucking point of the call? He knows a fuckload more than me. I don't need to tell you anything. And then we just talked about we took the piss out of a few UK people, and that was it.
Rick is such a clever guy. So I don't know about that statement, but he is such a clever guy. And it's actually
That's cool,
interesting.
man.
It's actually interesting. Yeah, it's actually interesting to sit there and listen to him. But yeah. So he so yeah, that's kind of like the question that I just think I just really, again, it's like the whole me Neil. It's like the whole thing. You know, you just meet someone and you just like, I fucking get on with them, man. Like,
You click.
I genuinely like fucking Rick as a fucking person, and
Yeah.
you can clearly see, what the way Rick is and what he puts into into the brand.
Mm,
It's like you could look at Strom and it's like, it's fucking Rick. Like, you know that
yeah.
his passion for wanting to deliver the very, 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 very best. You can see that through him as a person, and you can see that channeled into fucking Strom, and that's just why I just honestly
That's why
just
I'll never leave, man.
yeah,
I, you know, I got forced into doing this by Thomas.
right, okay,
Because I was coming in and seeing him, and he's like my best mate now.
yeah,
And then he forced the guy who was working there, Sean. He's like, Logan does not fucking pay. Do not make him swipe his
yeah,
card. And
yeah,
me being me, I'm like, no, fuck, I'm gonna pay.
yeah,
And then they didn't let me. And then he's like, I was like, all right, what can I fucking do? Because I'm not taking shit from you
yeah, yeah,
guys. And he's like, what about team manager? And I was like, okay, I'll
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And now we make so many fucking cool business decisions that it's just
Yeah,
cool. I
yeah,
can
yeah,
run it.
yeah. That's what I do. That's what I do. Like, you know, the Strom UK team. I'm obviously not too clued up on the other Strom teams. Like, I know you and Lily.
Yep. Yep.
But it's
Well,
kind of
Lily, for example, right?
yeah,
I made the decision on the day at a show.
yeah, yeah,
So I knew
yeah,
Tui, her friend, and I said, introduce me to Lily, because I knew who Lily was. And then I
yeah,
met her, and I was like, I like her. And then I went outside and I spoke to Thomas. I was like, we're signing her.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
he was like,
He is so
oh,
this girl is not like she is so what this girl lady sorry what this lady has um done naturally at her age
fucking
is
insane.
it's absolutely insane, mate. Absolutely insane, and she has the potential to. For me, and again, like I said to you, I'm very, 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 very fucking honest. Very, very, very honest. If it wasn't there yet, I'd say, okay, right?
Yep.
But this girl could stand on the Olympia stage as a natural athlete.
Yep. I told her the same thing.
100%. And fuck me, what an achievement!
Yep.
What an achievement! She's just yeah, she's got. But from the time that I've been working with Lily now, what I've realized is, remember we said about someone having the genetics, someone having the structure. This girl's got the fucking work rate, man.
Well, she
She is a
trains fucking hard, man.
she.
She hanged, she hanged with me with leg day. And then
Yeah, yeah.
that,
She is a grafter, and you can just see, and that shit gets me excited to coach and to help her on a fucking journey in whatever way possible. You know, I fucking can, and I genuinely believe we've got everything mapped out, we've got everything ready for the year, and you know, she's already done absolutely fucking fantastic where she is, what with what she's done, and she's a very, 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 very good potential. Like this lady, if she continues on her path, mate, she's an Olympian.
yeah,
She's an
easy.
she's an Olympian. I
And
think I might be wrong, but she's done 2 pro shows, right? Come third and
yeah,
second.
she came third and second and questionable.
Yeah, okay, but yeah,
especially especially the second. The second was,
yeah, but
I'm not gonna. I don't want to talk bad, but the local girl wins.
yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah,
But that was it. It was at it was like Auckland's, and I saw her, and I said to Thomas, I said, we're gonna sign her, and he's like, cool, whatever you want to do, we'll do. And I was like,
yeah,
sweet. And I called her the next day, and I
yeah,
said, this is what I'm gonna offer.
yeah, yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
And we fucking, how Strom is. We do what we
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
to help
No,
them.
absolutely. No, no, absolutely. Listen, I've been with many, but bear in mind, been in the game for like 18 years. And then I would say since I started competing, um, you know, I was the first UK, amateur to be with, remember SciTech Nutrition?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, with the side technician. Basically, I've been with a few different brands as an amateur competitor, um, and I am by far now with the two best brands I have ever been
Easy.
with, and that is Gasp and Strom. Um, um, there is absolutely zero chance that the only way I'll leave is if I get kicked out.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not gonna happen.
and I said I actually said those words to the gasp
Michael.
sort of athlete, oh, not Michael, but Antonia.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She's like she looks after a lot of the sort of athletes and stuff. And I actually said to her, I was like, because it's actually a funny story. So again, you know as well as I know from what I know from what you know about me now, I'm very much a dinosaur when it comes to technology. Okay,
yep.
okay, and it was last year I missed the so every year we have our contracts to sign. Okay, all right, and last year I missed it. Last year I missed it, and um, Antonio messaged me and says, "Are you leaving us?" I was like, "What are you on about? Of course I'm not. I've been with you for about fucking 11 years. There's absolutely no chance." I was like, and I literally said to her, I was like, "The only way you'll get rid of me is if you actually fucking kick me out and get rid of me." Like, "Okay, yeah, that's not happened. I think you've missed you've not signed your thing." I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake. It's because I'm shit. I don't look at emails
Yeah. Well, you got
but
your phone going off constantly anyway, man.
I've got, yeah, I'm too into my coaching rather than
Don't
to
worry,
learn,
man. Like I
to
said,
learn.
message Thomas. He's going to help you out with
Yeah,
anything techie you need. He'll help you.
yeah,
so,
yeah. Um,
so,
but yeah, so I think in terms of 2026, mate, that's it. Strom is we spoke about how strong Strom are together.
yeah. Well, I
And
think,
also, I said to you, I'm going to come over there and do some. Me and Rick are going to come over and do some seminars and stuff.
yep,
But that'll be a fucking laugh.
it'll be it'll be good, man. But I think we can wrap it up there. Is there anyone you want to thank before we shoot off?
Uh, thank yourself for getting me on here because it's like I said to you before. Podcasts aren't
Mate,
normally.
I will say I feel like I've known you for fucking years now. So it's,
Well,
it's,
that's the thing. That's a thing that a lot of my athletes do say to me, and they say they feel as if the minute they start talking to me, they feel as if they connect, and they feel as if they trust and they respect. They kind of have that look up and authority to me straight away.
yeah.
And that's just because I don't know. I don't know. I can't even put a thing on it. Whether it's a good thing for most or a bad thing, I don't know. But um,
You humanize conversations, bro. That's
yeah,
what I'll
yeah,
say.
yeah,
Is there's a person behind the message where,
yeah,
and I think there's just little things you do, and maybe it's subconscious, you don't realize, but like when you do voice notes to reply instead of a
yeah,
text,
yeah,
like
yeah,
little things like that is just, and that's just this is my job coming out of me because I
yeah, yeah,
do this for a
yeah.
living. It's
No, that's
literally
okay.
little cues that you do that make you connect to people and go, fuck, he cares. He's a person. It's not a machine. Like,
I try my best, but the year is strong for you, me, the team, Strom. It's going to be cool. Some cool things happening, And maybe in the future, I'll probably won't do a fucking 45-minute introduction to myself, and we'll talk about some topics, and maybe just get what the topics of what people
We can
want to
do a
listen.
Q&A, bro.
Yeah, we could do a Q&A.
Yeah, we can do Q&A.
Just get like a load of questions, and we could just rattle through the
Yeah.
rattle through.
No, it's cool. I think, yeah, we can do something again, and then, yeah, we'll get a Q&A up when you're not so busy traveling and all that shit. And then,
mate,
yeah,
if I'm
we
not
can go from there.
traveling, mate, I'm just in here, so whenever, man.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, look, from the Stromcast, well, thank you. I'll end the recording here, and then we can carry on having a bit of a chat.